Welcome along, everybody, to this, the women's NICC semi-final between Maree and Castleisland. We're live here in Neptune Stadium. I'm joined in commentary by Jason Killeen. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Connor.
This is the well, actually, both semi-finals are on at the same time. The other semi-finals an all-Dublin affair between Castleisland and Meteors, and is happening over in the Maree Arena at the moment. And an early score there inside for Maree. Sakura Mannion finishes well inside after a lovely assist from Michelle Fahy. Michelle, of course, will be one of the people that will be very familiar to any kind of Irish basketball viewer. She's one of the all-time greats of women's basketball. She played over in Iona College, I think, in which is NCAA Division 1, and was part of very successful teams for both Glenmire and Limerick. So she's certainly one for people to watch out for today, Jason.
Yeah, like you said, if you have any kind of involvement with the Irish game at all, you know who Michelle is, so we'll be looking for her to make a big impact today.
Castleisland moving the ball against that Maree zone. Go for the long shot, doesn't come off. They get the offensive rebound though. Maree starting out in a 2-3 zone, with Michelle there anchoring it at the back, but Castleisland moved the ball well. Nice move inside, but it just doesn't work out for Lorraine Scanlon inside. Maree pushed the ball up through Carol McCarthy. Michelle there at the high post. She looks to attack, but good defense inside, limits her, and a reach-in foul there for Maree. So that's some good defense there. It's a big job that that Lorraine Scanlon's going to have on her hands today to try and limit Michelle as much as possible. And
she did a great job there of not dropping the arms. You know, when Michelle got by, she contested the shot and without fouling.
That's a lovely pass inside, and Castleisland get their first score of the game. Castleisland starting in a man-to-man defense. Castleisland, of course, are coached by Liam Culty, who's one of the Irish underage coaches. Unsuccessful on the fast break, and that's another one. A shot around the basket. So far, Jason, Castleisland are getting shots around the basket. They just haven't been able to hit a lot of them.
Yeah, you know, like you said, Connor, both teams are here for a reason. They're both talented teams, but it's going to take a couple of minutes for them both to settle in, and they're getting the open shots. They just have to start putting it in.
You can often find with a lot of these games, and it'll be the same even with the Super League games later on, that teams at the end of Christmas probably haven't played for 2-3 weeks, and they can slightly be out of rhythm. And there's also the fact that teams probably have been talking or building up this semi-final for a while in their own head, so you can often miss easy shots early on. But that's a fantastic shot from the outside from Carol McCarthy, and Maree now lead 5 points to 2. Good patience by Castleisland as they move the ball around the perimeter. Lorraine Scanlon passes it back out. Shot short, but another offensive rebound for Castleisland. Potentially a foul, but nothing called there, and it's going to be Castleisland ball from the end line.
Yeah, they seem to be letting both teams play here early on.
It's an excellent job inside, again by Lorraine Scanlon, who's been to the fore of a lot of the good work by Castleisland. She sealed well after setting the screen. Did a good job getting a smaller player on her back and drew the foul as she goes to the free throw line for 2. First one's good. Oh, apologies with the scoreboard. We will update it now. Outside shot, and it's good from the outside as Castleisland go into a 6 points to 5 lead. That's a lovely outside shot by Denise Dunley.
And we have 7:30 left in the first quarter. Maree ball. You see Castleisland here staying in the man-to-man. Castleisland playing very disciplined on defense there.
As you'd expect from a team coached by the likes of Liam Culty, who, am I correct? It's the under-17 national team I think he's now involved in. So Yeah, you'd expect a team to be very well disciplined, but Maree are very experienced themselves, and Joe Shields obviously has coached a lot of these girls as well at an underage level in schools, so it's going to be two kind of disciplined teams who are going to make the other team beat them rather than do anything too silly to lose the game.
I think, Conor, that's one of the draws of being around Cork on semi-final weekend. There's so many familiar faces that have been involved with Irish basketball for years and years.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of the best weekends because of the amount of teams that are playing. That's an excellent outside shot for Castleisland there by Maree Hurley. And Castleisland have raced into a 9-5 lead. We've just under 7 minutes to go. Carol McCarthy tries to reply, no good. Castleisland pushed the ball down. Good patience there. Didn't go for the outside shot. But eventually they do, and it's a foot on the line, but a lovely outside shot there by number 12, Eileen O'Connor. But good patience by Castleisland. They had an early outside look but didn't take it, but swung the ball around and got another good look.
That comes back to being disciplined. I think, Conor, they're searching for the best possible shot that they can get.
Yeah, that's true. A lovely take inside there by Colleen McInerney. And the score is 11-7 with just under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. One thing will be interesting to see is that this Maree zone is quite passive. It's kind of sitting back a little bit to see if Castleisland can beat them from the outside. So far they've hit a couple of shots, but we'll see if they're able to consistently do that throughout the game. But that's going to be a big issue for them if they do stay in this zone. Jason, if you are going to sit in the zone, you can't have people driving straight down the middle and finishing that easily.
Yeah, I think they're recognising the zone and they're making the top two players work awful hard by moving the ball quickly.
Ball goes into Michelle again. Good defense. She misses, a little bit frustrated there, but great job on defense by Lorraine Scanlon. Castleisland get it back into her, move the ball again, and they draw a foul. Great job as they go to the line again. Denise Dunlea will shoot 2 free throws with a chance to extend the lead. They currently lead by 6 points. It's 13-7 with 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We have our first sub of the game. Maree bring in number 8, who is currently not on our team list, Jason, so well, we gave it a shot. The shot's good there, and the score is now 15-7 for Castleisland.
It's interesting now we see Michelle coming out of the game early on.
Yeah, Michelle is obviously a veteran player, so it'll be interesting to see whether Joe has to kind of manage her minutes or not. And a good rebound there by Maree. Outside shot, it's just short. Castleisland are doing a good job when they do get rebounds to start pushing the ball down the floor. Oh, that's a lovely fast break. And they draw the foul. That's really nice. They push the ball down the court. Aoife Nolan did a great job of finding Lorraine Scanlon in underneath the basket as a trailer. And now Lorraine goes to the line and to try and build a 10-point lead if she can knock down these 2 free throws.
Castleisland doing a great job of finding the gaps in that zone early on. Usually it takes a couple of quarters before teams start to figure it out.
And they're both good, so the score is now 17-7. 4 minutes 30 left in this first quarter. No timeout yet from Joe Shields, so he obviously has faith that his girls are going to be able to see their way into this first quarter. Castleisland, Jason, of course, is one of the fun kind of basketball cities in Ireland that's probably a little bit off the radar in the last few years, but it's definitely a place that loves basketball, and the blitz they have there every Christmas shows just how much there is an interest in basketball down there.
And you know, the standard is getting better and better in Kerry as a whole. I think just about every commentator this weekend is going to mention the the rise of Kerry basketball in the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. And the big thing about it is that it's not. Yes, the top kind of teams are doing it. The Tralee Warriors, KCYMS in Division 1, St. Paul's. The crowds are there, and that's all fantastic. But the other thing that we're seeing is this at underage level. There's an improvement as well. Like the winner, the Billy Kelly, came from Kerry last year as well. Jason.
Yeah, it's like you said. The crowds are very good, but it's the youngsters that are going to these games and they're watching the older lads, the older ladies and gentlemen play, and they're wanting to replicate that. So as the standard goes up around the county in general.
We have a timeout here on the floor as score is 19 points to 7 with 3:28 to go in this first quarter. Welcome back. So 3:25 here to go in this first quarter. 12-point deficit for Maree. They've given up 19 points so far and just the 7 points on offense. Michelle Fahey, nice spin move though. It just doesn't fall for her. She gets the offensive rebound and draws the foul. We saw there, Jason, when Michelle came off there the first time, she just headed down straight to the end of the bench, I think, to get herself a little snack.
Yeah, just cleared ahead a little bit. I think she's, as we said earlier, she's a fabulous player, and 9 times out of 10, them shots will go in. She's probably getting a little frustrated with herself, but I think she'll be fine.
She knocks them both down, and the score is now 19 to 9.
Sometimes it's nice just to get that free throw, get an easy layup to get yourself settled.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see the ball go in.
It's a 1-3-1 zone.
Yeah, it is a 1-3-1. They're doing a good job of trying to kind of restrict Lorraine Scanlon. They've obviously identified her as an issue, but there, if Castleisland had seen it, there was a girl open right underneath the basket, but they still managed to move the ball, get to the free throw line here.
It's an interesting free throw technique, Connor. I think we're seeing more and more of this. Traditionally you'd stand centre to the ring. A lot of players are standing off centre. Yeah.
I guess whatever works on the free throw line, whatever you need to do. But the score is 21-9.
Turnover there by Michelle Fahey and Castleisland on the fast break.
As we were talking about that kind of Kerry basketball, Jason, it would be, I think there's two Division 1 teams and a Super League team, but the one thing that's missing that would be fantastic is if we were able to get a Kerry women's team in the National Leagues.
That's exactly right. Now, I don't think we're far away from it. I mean, the talent is certainly there.
Yeah, definitely. And as long as the interest is there and people are going to games, it's not just young boys who are going to see a lot of those games. There's also girls there, and all they need to do is have that opportunity to play. And there's already talent down in Kerry, and there has been, but oftentimes those talented players are going to play in other places. I think Louise Galvin comes to mind, who would have travelled up to play for Limerick, who's originally from Kerry, of course. Now part of the Irish Rugby Sevens team. Oh, that's a big collision inside. Carol McCarthy is rewarded with a trip to the free throw line. It was one of those 50-50 calls, could have been a charge, but
She felt like she was fouled on the last time down the floor as well. So
in general, you like to see the benefit of the doubt going to the offensive player in those sort of situations.
just again, Connor, going back to the Kerry basketball, the great thing about down there as well is you have a lot of companies and a lot of businesses who are willing to get involved. And you know, as we know, it's quite expensive to run a National League program, and the more sponsorship and the more involvement we have from the community, the better off these teams are going to be.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's been met with big crowds as well, and they're making a big effort to kind of make the game as appealing, not just the basketball that's on the floor, but it's the overall entertainment, and it's something that hopefully that other teams around the country are going to learn from and try and develop themselves.
Exactly, it's the involvement with the community as well. We see the Tralee Warriors team spend a lot of time visiting schools and coaching young kids.
And ultimately, in a country our size, the more Americans and different things that we have going to schools and kind of exposing people to the game, the better for us in the long term. But Castleisland here have stormed out to a 27 points to 11 lead. They're playing fantastic basketball. I'm trying to remember back. I think that Castleisland actually won they were certainly in the under 18 National Cup final a few years ago, I think, with Porrick Lucy, who would have kind of led that team at that stage. I could be wrong, so if I am wrong, tweet Basketball Ireland and Maree can deal with you.
Hashtag Connor is wrong. Yeah, Maree is the complaint department. He will take all complaints.
Second one's good there from Maree. 40 seconds to go.
Great start for Castleisland, but Maree are certainly not panicking either.
No, this Maree team, I think were in the latter stages of this, if not the final last year, so they'll know exactly what they're doing. Nice steal there. An opportunity for a fast break layup for Carol McCarthy. Draws the contact and finishes, but doesn't get the call. But a great finish inside there for Carol McCarthy.
Scores 27-14 with 10 seconds left in the first quarter.
Got 7. Castleisland are going to have to get a shot off here. 4-3-2. Shot from the top of the key. It's going to be short, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Castleisland with a fantastic performance there to lead the game 27 points to 14. Welcome back for this second quarter. The guys here in Neptune are just fixing up the basket down one end where you look set to go again. Has to be said, Jason, as well, the other thing about these National Cup weekends down in Cork, aside from how great it is that the crowds come out, like last night was packed here in Neptune Stadium, it was a fantastic atmosphere, but the volunteers from the kind of different Cork clubs really help make this a big event, and it's something that the whole basketball community are very grateful for, just how well they put on this event every year.
And like you said, it's year after year, you know. I think
that's another big 3 there by Carol McCarthy.
The Cork teams know the standard of basketball that they have down here, and it's great for them to showcase the facilities and the volunteers and the people that have involved in this special weekend of the year.
I actually remember the first time I ever played here, which is one of the few gyms that I actually do remember it. I played in a schools game and played against North Mon. It was only in first year, but I was with the senior team at the stage. Went into the change room before the game, Jason, which is in underneath those stands across the way. And before the game, we were just warming up. Nobody in the whole gym. This is grand. I walk out first as a 13-year-old, getting ready for this game, and all of a sudden the entire Northmont school there booing me, which was good crack. A nice welcome to Neptune Stadium.
Legend has it they still boo him to this day.
Oh, I'd say they do, yeah. It just I was walking down the street last night, got booed. Nice steal there by Maree. This is a good start to the second quarter for them. They get a big 3 and then follow it up by a steal and a 2, and it's an 8-point game. This is what Joe Shields is going to be looking for more of. As you can see, again, they've actually upped the intensity here. They're still. It looks like they're kind of. Is it a man, or else? They've certainly kind of upped the intensity anyway on defense. We'll see the next time down whether it's a matchup or whether they've gone fully man. But that was one of the things they were kind of sitting back off Castleisland, allowing Castleisland to move the ball side to side, which you ultimately get punished for so often.
Take note, Calester, he can't recognise the man from the zone.
Giannis tells me what to do. I don't have to figure anything out for myself. A nice move inside there. Fast break by Castleisland. They go to the basket. Carol McCarthy does a great job of getting back on defence. Oftentimes you see those called as fouls, but the referees have been fairly consistent so far today, just letting that kind of little bits of contact go, and you don't mind it as a player once it's consistent and it's happening the same for both teams.
That's exactly right. It's just consistency.
That's a nice 2 inside. Carol McCarthy does well off the pick and roll. Michelle finds her inside, and Michelle with a nice finish. It
looks like a man with Michelle being that anchor in the middle.
There's another offensive rebound there for Castleisland, and they get another 2. 29-21, 7.5 minutes to go in this first half.
Very different game now in the first 3 minutes of the second quarter than we saw
And
in the
Carol
first.
McCarthy with another big 3. Herself and Michelle have been the driving forces behind Maree getting back into this game. That's a nice take to the basket, a little bit out of control. Carol pushes the ball down the court, pulls up for a long range 3. No good, but an offensive rebound and a travel, unfortunately, for Maree. That was a bit of a heat check there for Carol.
You know, I think coaches are okay with that.
Ah, yeah,
you hit 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah, definitely. She's been playing so well and has been instrumental to all the good work. So I think with players, sometimes you have to give them that. You don't mind as a coach if there's 1 or 2 bad shots during a game, if it's part of how the player kind of plays aggressively. Another rebound inside.
Castleisland moving the ball really well.
Yeah, very nice. And again, another offensive rebound. Joe Shields, coach of Maree, is down the sideline telling his team to box out, but they haven't been able to. Nice pass inside. No good, but another offensive rebound. Jason, as a coach, when your team gives up 3 offensive rebounds in one play, it's never going to end well for you.
Well, it's just effort at that point, Connor. You know, I mean, with Michelle sitting on the bench now again, they're giving up way too many offensive rebounds.
The first free throw is good. Castleisland stretch it back out to a 6-point game. And as you said that, Jason, Michelle Fahey straight away back up to the scorer's table. Joe Shields has seen enough. He needs to make sure that they're able to get those rebounds inside. But it's a 7-point game here. Maree have been the brighter of the 2 teams in this second quarter, but of course Castleisland had that fantastic first quarter where they built open a lead. But as we saw last night in the under-18 girls, an early lead isn't always going to get you everywhere. Brunel had a big lead, 13 or 14 points against Glanmire, even close to the end of the third quarter, and Glanmire, who so often have been successful at underage level in national cups, were able to claw it back and end up winning by 3 points.
And that's it. As a coach as well, you know, you almost get nervous when you get too high of a lead early on because you don't want your players to take a rest.
it's always difficult when you do build up a lead. It's that idea that you want to keep doing the things that helped you build that lead, and oftentimes that can be playing aggressively and pushing the ball, and you don't want to rush when you have a lead, but you want to be still maintain that kind of aggressive kind of play, because anytime you kind of sit back and are a little bit more passive, it tends to work against you.
Well, as you know, Connor, when you're down, you throw the kitchen sink at it then, so you're going to get the best shot from the other team
Definitely.
as well.
And I think it's also part of it that naturally happens is that referees, maybe not intentionally, but if a team is down by 15, 16 points, that if there's a 50-50 call, it can often go in the way of the team who's down. And basketball is such a game of momentum that it's one of those ones that things can change so quickly on you. It's a nice take inside there and a nice finish. The help defense was a little bit slow, and Aoife Nolan was able to get all the way to the basket for 2. Scores 33-24 here, 5 minutes left in this first half. It's a tough shot, no good. And Castleisland seem to have weathered that early kind of Maree good spell at the start of the second quarter as they've been able to build back out the lead.
Well, as from a Castleisland perspective, you might be a bit disappointed that Maree came back in the second quarter, but having 33 points on the board with 4:30 left in the second quarter, you got to be happy with that.
You can see there that Michelle Fahey's getting a little bit frustrated, especially with the one of the difficult things that can often happen, Jason, is as you kind of move down the leagues. Michelle would have been used to playing internationally and at a high level at college and everything else, but sometimes at the lower leagues there's a little bit more contact is allowed. A good example of it just there. Seemed to be a lot of contact but nothing called. And teams tend to play a little bit more physically, so it can be frustrating at times where you're not getting calls that you're used to getting.
Well, on the other side then, when you look at your own team, and this is a fine Maree team, but when you play internationally, you play at the top Super League, you're also expecting players to make them cuts, and you're expecting players to be in the right shots and make the right decisions. And that can change a little bit as the leagues go down. Certainly not seeing it today, though. These two teams have
they're doing a great job. Castleisland have been very impressive by just how structured they are, how patient they've been. Maree have been frustrated at themselves more than anything, but they're doing a good job as well. It's only a 9-point game, and as we saw with that early burst at the start of the second quarter, there is scoring there in that Maree team. But they can't afford these sort of turnovers that lead to run-out layups. And a great finish inside there by Lorraine Scanlon. That's the sort of thing that, as you're trying to dig your way back into a game, especially when things aren't 100% going your way, that you can't afford to give up those sort of turnovers that end up as run-out. A holding call there. What Maree really need here, Jason, is just like an easy layup or two, just to kind of, particularly if they can get a basket for one or two of their players other than Michelle or Carol McCarthy, that would be fantastic. Lovely pass inside, beautiful. And that's exactly what we wanted, an easy layup inside.
Well, especially with the three-point shooting early on in the second quarter, it opens up the middle as the defense stretches to not allow the easy three-point shots.
It's a banked shot there for Castleisland. They get 2 more and stretch the lead back out to 11, 37-26. But Maree are still here. They're still in this game, touching distance, but they just can't afford those turnovers. And again, it's a turnover that leads to a fast break and a nice job moving the ball, but they just can't finish it inside. You can see that Michelle Fahey trying to get them to slow down a little bit to make sure that they get a good offense here. Good job by Carol McCarthy. Gets all the way to the basket. A bit of contact again, but nothing called. She's looking over at Joe Shields, kind of asking what do we need to do to get a call here. A nice steal though. Oh, and an unsportsmanlike foul called there. Stop the fast break. We have a timeout here coming for Castleisland, and they lead by 37 points to 26 with 2.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. And we're back here. There's no lineup, as it was called an unsportsmanlike foul. It's one of the rules that's slightly changed this year in Irish basketball, is that there's no more kind of cynical fouling to stop a fast break that Jason Killeen was famous for. So now anytime that happens, it's 2 free throws and possession. Carol McCarthy does a great job of knocking down both free throws, so sometimes...
And you know, Conor, we see FIBA over the last couple of years changing the rules slightly, or adjusting the rules to in order to speed up the tempo of the game. And you know, it's what the fans want. They want more points on the board. They want.
You can see it particularly at EuroLeague level. Sometimes defenses were too strong in kind of FIBA basketball, and this has kind of opened it up a little bit more, which is really strong. I think, to be fair, it probably took a little while for it to kind of settle down in the Irish leagues. It was a little bit of players not being used to it, coaches not being used to it, and then the referees themselves trying to figure it out, because, as I said, it is a new rule. But one of the good things about basketball in general, Jay, is how willing, or how much kind of FIBA do kind of change up the rules from time to time, where they see that the game is going in a particular direction and they're able to make slight adjustments to it.
Well, you look at the last 10 years, you know, the shot clock gone from 30 seconds down to 24. 8 seconds to get the ball over the half.
Even the
10.
reset of the shot clock, rather than going back to 24, now goes to 14 in the half court.
And the biggest difference then is at the end of the games, you know, traditionally the last 2 minutes in the game could last 20 minutes from fouling and putting people on free throw line, but you can't really do that anymore.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that you often hear of frustrations within, like, the GAA, where things have to go to Congress and all these different things to get any sort of minor rule change. But it is something that both the NBA at their level and also FIBA are constantly looking to address. So it is something that's very positive.
And the nice thing is, you know, that if it didn't work out, they would, you know, they're not stubborn. They'll change it back.
It's something to look at. We have another timeout here with 1 minute to go in this second quarter. It's an 11-point game. So it's Maree ball here. 1:05 left on the clock. It's 39-28 to Castleisland. This will be a big minute here for Maree. If they can try and eat into this lead, get it to single digits going into the change room, they'll be delighted. Nice take to the basket, but it just doesn't go in. But it's an end line ball for Maree. It was a lovely take to the basket there, but it just didn't fall. And they're the sort of ones, again, when you're trying to eat into a deficit, you really need things to be going your way. And you can't afford to have loose turnovers or missed layups. Carol McCarthy for a 3. No good. Castleisland get the ball. I've been very impressed, Jason, by just how fast Castleisland moved from defense to offense. It's not always just fast break layups, but they actually transition as a group into offense very well.
Yeah, they're getting the ball down the floor very quickly, and then they're passing and looking for the best shot. And
they have trailers coming down the court. Basically, everything that you're looking for as a coach is happening there, and they're doing a good job, and they've gotten easy baskets out of it. And that's been one of the big differences, is the easy baskets that they've been able to get compared to Maree not being able to get those same easy baskets.
Well, we know the best way to beat the zone is to beat it down the floor, and they're doing a good job of that.
Definitely.
Certainly well drilled, Connor.
You have to appreciate a good team system when you see it in basketball. We go to the line for 2 free throws here.
And Connor, this floor, one of the few ones in Ireland that's not covered in lines.
Yeah, it's a welcome change where you can see just basketball lines. It's one of the gems of Irish basketball, this arena in general.
It's definitely the envy of a lot of clubs around the country.
Oh, certainly. 9-point game. We've got 13 seconds left here in this first half. So Castleisland will have the last shot of the half, or they should anyway. They move the ball around, try to attack. A long-range three-pointer there. 3 seconds to go on the clock. No good. Michelle Faye with the rebound. And that's the end of the first half. Maree trail by 30 points, or by 9 points, 39-30, as we head into the second half.
Welcome back to the Hula Hoops Women's NICC semi-final between St Mary's Castleisland and Maree Basketball Club. I am not Conor Meaney. Conor Meaney had to leave, so I am...
It's that all-important nap before his big game tonight.
Exactly. So the dream team are back together.
It's what the fans want. It's what they want. So the game so far, just to catch everybody up, Castleisland, great first quarter, ran up the score. Second quarter belonged to Maree, really, bringing the deficit back down to 9. At the minute we stand 39-30 with 9:40 left in the third quarter.
A big shot there for Castleisland. Puts them up 12 points. Maree working the ball inside there, but doesn't go down.
Castleisland continuing to push the pace. They get the rebound and they're gone. You know, they do a great job of transitioning down the floor as a team.
They really seem to be getting the better of Maree on that fast break. Another good team score from Castleisland, moving the ball well. Jump ball, good hustle from both teams.
A good call from the referee as well, to be fair.
Carol McCarthy now with the ball, working it. Goes all the way. Another jump ball. Ball going the opposite way this time.
It's a lovely drive to the basket there, Dev, but as we talked about earlier, when you're trying to eat into that deficit, they're the shots that you got to make.
Traveling violation there. Saw the pass. Was a little bit too late.
Credit to the defense there for taking away that pass.
Michelle Fahey now with the ball. Castleisland really spacing themselves well in the court. It's a matter of picking up the open person though. Long three. Doesn't go down, and Castleisland once again start the fast break. And a foul call this time on Colleen McInerney. So Castleisland still lead by 14 points, 44-30, with 7:40 left in the third quarter.
Castleisland doing a fantastic job of cutting off of the ball. They're getting easy layups for it.
Carol McCarthy doing her best to get her team back in it. She's really doing a great job of running the floor.
Substitute there. We seem to have a technical issue with an ankle brace, David, which can happen.
The game throws so many things at you. Open three. McCarthy again. Tries to get the long pass. Intercepted. Out for the three. Travelling called. No basket. Maree will begin again. Fahy has it on the high post. Good hustle from Fahy. Gets the rebound of her own miss and scores.
And, you know, Michelle is making the right moves throughout the game. The ball just doesn't seem to be falling for her.
Something we're not familiar with. Michelle Fahy always seems to get those scores.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier with Connor. She's a fantastic player. Anyone that's been around Irish basketball knows the name.
Exactly. Three, no good. McCarthy begins. Push up again. Lovely pass inside from Fahy.
Stepped out of bounds there with that trail foot on the pivot.
Castleisland seem to be doing a very good job on defense, stopping Maree from moving the ball around to open.
Yeah, doing a good job of frustrating them, really, isn't it?
There's an Ori pass now.
Slow start here to the third quarter.
After such a fast-paced first half. Foul called on Lorraine Scanlon. Bit of a mix-up there from Castleisland, but the ball is gathered. Great offensive hustle there from Castleisland to get those rebounds.
You get rewarded with 2 free shots.
White misses the first. Misses the second. And one. Lovely score from Mannion. Did a very good job to get inside, take the contact.
You know, a basket like that can really be the catalyst to get the team going. It was a tough basket and one.
Gets the extra point. Now an 11-point game. Castleisland 48-37 to Maree. 4:25 left in the third quarter. Good score from Maree Hurley.
And Castleisland doing a good job of getting on the end of them, the scrappy balls that are
Yeah,
the
great.
50-50 balls, as we call them.
Every player running to the ball.
I think the Maree bench would have preferred that foul wasn't called.
Yeah. Good steal there. Fast break is on once again. Castleisland doing a very good job to get open. We'll have another jump ball. Castleisland ball.
Got a change from the table there. The ball is actually going to go to Maree.
McCarthy now again. Into Fahy. And McCarthy makes a lovely run. 2 points.
Dave, if you're Maree here, you're happy enough down 11, I think, the way things have been going.
I think Joe Shields, Maree coach, would have let them know. He's an experienced coach. He knows. 11 is not a massive lead. It's definitely achievable.
No, and they don't look panicked at all, know. They know they're getting the shots. All they got to do is put in a couple of them. There you go.
Just like that. Down to 9 points. Maree, of course, defending NICC Women's Champions. Foul called on Colleen McInerney there.
It's the fourth on Colleen.
Joe Shields wisely gets her out of the game. Castleisland taking advantage of being able to get open, take the shot, making it count.
That's what the game boils down to, really, David, doesn't it?
You're right, Jason.
Put the ball in the basket more times than the opponent.
Who would have thought it'd be that simple?
Smart rebound there from Michelle Fahy, tapping it down when she knew she couldn't get her hands on it.
Fouls on Black there. Maree were under the impression it was one of their players. McCarthy looking for Fahy there, but she was double teamed. Fahy slowing things down there. McCarthy with the shot, and it's good.
I've seen that a couple of times this game now. The score is 52-44 with 1:06 left in the third quarter.
That was a well-needed score there from McCarthy. Bring the Castleisland's lead down to single digits.
You do such a good job of bringing it down to 8 points there, and then you give up an offensive rebound. You really got to box out and get that board. Another one. ball went over the backboard there, but it didn't actually hit anything, so it would have been the correct call from the referees. It touches a wire, touches a bar, if it touches anything up there, it's oh, lovely score.
Lovely finish from McCarthy.
We have a 6-point game with 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Maree will be happy with that.
Definitely. They seem to be doing a better job on defense now, not letting the Castleisland players get open as often. And I've done what you did, Jason, the previous game, and I've jinxed it.
The commentator jinx.
That's the end of the third quarter. St. Mary's Castleisland lead Maree 54-46. So welcome back to the Hula Hoops NICC Women's National Cup semi-final, where it's St. Mary's Castleisland lead Maree basketball by 54 points to 46.
Now or never, Dev. Both teams have got to go for it.
That's it. Carol McCarthy and Michelle Vahy doing a great job of that pass and go.
Yeah, you know, Michelle knows, she's smart enough. He gets double teamed, somebody's got to cut to the basket, you know. Easy layups.
Castleisland again having a player open. Makes the shot.
And if you're the Castleisland coach now, you know, you don't want to go away from what you were doing.
Good finish under the basket there from Sarah O'Sullivan.
You see the lead back up to 10. Unfortunate that one didn't drop.
Yeah, very unlucky. Good defensive play there from Maree. And the foul called on Castleisland. Let's see what Karen McCarthy can do this time. Shot. Just short. Castleisland lead the fast break. Out to the open shooter. Three is good.
It's a big reward there for being so patient on offense. And we said it early on and again, Castleisland do a great job of looking for the best shot that they can get.
A very good job they did. Maree get the tip on the ball. 2v1, and Fahy makes no mistake. 11-point game, 61-50 to Castleisland, 7 minutes left in the game. Maree slowing down a little bit on the defensive boards, which allows Castleisland to get some free scores.
See the Neptune lads over there in the 20s, togged and ready to go. They'll be looking to repeat some of their cup success from last season.
Looking for 3 in a row at under 20. Nice Euro step. Ball's out to Carol McCarthy. Did very well to get a touch on the ball there.
Castleisland happy enough now to slow down the pace of the game and leave the clock run down a little bit.
Jump ball.
See a lot of jump balls this game.
Yeah.
You know, both teams really hustling, trying to pick up the loose balls.
Clean.
Colleen felt like she should have got the call there.
Not happy with the call.
The non-call.
The non-call. I suppose every player feels they're right. 2 points there for Castleisland. To a 15-point game, 65-60, with 5 minutes left.
You know, we saw the game was down to 4 points a minute ago. Well, a couple of minutes ago.
There you go. Shows how quick things can change.
Well, credit to Castleisland for not panicking.
McCarthy will shoot 2. Makes the first. Second doesn't fall. Castleisland not rushing anything.
Lovely backdoor
Great
cut.
inside pass. Unlucky not to fall. Traveling violation.
It'll be a big ask now for Maree to come back into contention in this game. Dave was certainly capable of doing it.
Absolutely capable.
As the reigning champs.
It's now or never for Maree, I suppose. Fahy once again grabbing her own rebound. It's a miss from the 3, but Maree left her wide open. Nice block.
Lovely pass ahead there, just couldn't get the layup to drop.
Shot is no good. Castleisland leading 65-51 with 3 minutes left. No real urgency from Maree under the boards there. Things start to get a little bit lackadaisical now on Maree's side of things.
Yeah, they know the deficit, so they're, heaving up a couple of threes, trying to bring that deficit down as quickly as they can.
Castleisland moving the ball really, really well.
Credit to Castleisland, they've been plugging away the whole game. Searching for the right shots, doing a great job on the offensive boards.
.14 seconds left in the shot clock.
We got 2 minutes left in the game. Great weekend for Irish basketball. They've some more
phenomenal
games later on today and tonight, promising to be some crackers.
I hear there's a great Super League game on in the Mardyke at 8 o'clock.
Hopefully that won't be a cracker.
McCarthy with the miss. Fahy with the swat. Unlucky from McCarthy. She's playing with the same intensity she has all game. Hasn't seemed to let fatigue get the better of her.
1:18 left in the game. I'm sure she'll finish it out.
67-51 to Castleisland. 16-point lead.
And I believe you'll be commentating the next game too.
I will. Neptune v Cullen under 20s.
Anyone's around the area, that promises to be a really good game. Got some very talented players on both sides.
Absolutely. Definitely will be a cracker.
And two coaching staffs that know exactly what they're doing.
And have faced each other so many times in the past as well.
Well, it's like we were talking earlier with Connor, weekends like this, there's just so many familiar faces.
Yeah.
It's a great spectacle for the sport, especially young kids that want to come and watch.
Exactly. Really able to look up to players and aspire to be like them.
Well, all the hard work that goes in for training and pre-season, training over the Christmas, and this is the reward for most clubs to be able to come down and play on the big stage like this. Fortunately, it doesn't always go your way, as Maree know today.
Yeah.
Castleisland can certainly feel it now, heading to a final.
Bench is starting to get a bit giddy. Laughing, smiling.
It's a great sense of relief, especially a lot of these teams don't play much over the Christmas break,
exactly.
And everything is looking forward to this cup semi-final. But look, credit to both teams here today. They both played very well. Reigning champs Maree and Castleisland.
Castleisland running out 67-51 winners and are through to the Hula Hoops NICC Women's National Cup Final. From me and Jason, thank you.